Hey guys, and welcome to today's episode on the Fashion Fables podcast. Happy Saturday, and today officially marks 1 week until I go back to school, which is crazy. So I kind of spent my morning and afternoon packing my clothes, and I went shopping yesterday with my mom to finish up getting my home decor and stuff like that to decorate my apartment, and I got beauty supplies and all the stuff that I need to live on my own. And I just think it's crazy how fast the summer went. I don't know, it was kind of odd. I feel like July and June were non-existent, and now August is flying by, but nonetheless I had a good summer. I think that I grew a lot mentally and kind of just realized what my priorities really were, the people that I want to surround myself with, and just kind of putting all of that into realization, I think, is super important as you're maturing and becoming the person you want to be. I think it's always beautiful to see that growth, to know what you truly want in life, to know what you want to do, and kind of just keep setting the goals that are possible to accomplish. So moving into today's episode, I want to talk about the realities of life, and not only the realities of life, but just kind of why some things that we think are super important are not the end of the world and actually can make us stronger as people. And I'll just use myself as an example because I feel I want to talk about this because I think it's really important. And my story, I guess, can kind of touch on why I feel it's so important and why I'm passionate about it. So I would say that when I came back from school, I wasn't really my best self. In May, I feel some of the decisions I made at school just weren't beneficial for my health, mentally and physically. And, that comes with going away to school for the first time and, experiencing things that, you've never experienced before, trying new things. And sometimes those things just end up being things that you don't want to repeat and things that you just don't want part of your lifestyle and just don't make you feel good, just don't make you happy, and just make you, regret it in the long run. And so I did have feelings of that, and I tried not to put myself down about it because obviously, nobody's perfect, and, you live and you learn, and, some of the things that, I wouldn't repeat, now going back this semester. So I would say that I'm not grateful that these things happen, but I'm grateful that I was able to learn from them, and now I know what I don't want to do and what I do want to do, and that kind of goes back to, my priorities and, what I want part of my life and what I don't want in my life. So, and, being more specific, I would say it's more, the drinking part of it, because, going to a school that's, bigger, for partying, sometimes it was hard to kind of, say no to, peer pressure when you're in an environment where it's, everyone's doing one thing, and it's, oh, well, you don't want to be, the one person that's not doing it. And so sometimes I would, say yes, a drink, when in reality, I truly knew that, I wasn't going to feel good after it, and I really didn't want to do it, but I did, because, my friends were doing it and stuff like that, and, I just, you don't realize sometimes when you're in the moment, what something, is actually, doing to you, or, how something's making you feel. But, when I came home, I just realized that, that's not me, and, that's something that I don't want to do, moving forward. And, even though, you're in college, I don't think that's an excuse to, get drunk every weekend and, just, drink so much, because I feel I could personally be doing so many, better things, for my future, with my podcast and stuff like that. And, I almost felt I was wasting my time doing things that, I regret and, that I hated. And, I don't mean to say, hate, because it's, a strong word, but, I truly, hated the way it made me feel. I hated feeling hungover. I just hated it. And, that's just, me personally. And, some people might like it. And, especially in college, I know it's, more popular to kind of, drink and stuff like that. But, that just, wasn't, for me.
Do you have an extension cord in here?
And, I just feel that for me, I have so many goals and, aspirations that I have in life, and I almost felt some of the things that I decided, to do because other people were doing actually was a setback for me, and So like when I came home, I really like got myself back in order, like really like just took time to reflect on myself and like what I did like about my college experience and like what I didn't like and what I don't want to do like going forward. And I think that's like something really important, like if you went to college or like you experienced something similar to me where like you just went there and like you kind of, I don't know, just did things, you started blending in with the crowd, and like deep down like that just wasn't you, because you were born to stand out and you were born to do things that are extraordinary and not just settle for mediocrity. Like, you know, just someone who's not afraid to take risks and who seeks that, like, I don't know, just kind of more than like an average person. For me, it was really like not like traumatic, but it was almost just like, wow, like I can't believe I did this almost. And like I wasn't like ashamed of myself, but I almost was like disappointed that like I was letting other people like kind of feed into my head. And like the main part was like the drinking, because like that just like, first of all, it just isn't healthy to like constantly like have alcohol on the weekend. And like I wasn't like doing it a lot, but like it would be like on the weekend, and like I just genuinely like, it was just something I got used to, because like every weekend my friends and I would just like go to these parties, and like I just realized that that's just something I don't want to do going forward. And so that's my like little rant about alcohol in college. Like I definitely don't recommend drinking every weekend, because like eventually it's just gonna like catch up to you. You're not gonna feel your best, you're not gonna look your best, you're gonna start like looking bloated like on your face and like whatever, and like you're gonna get hungry at like random points in the night, and like you're gonna eat even when you're not even hungry, just because. And like I don't know, for me it just like really bothered me, because I'm very like specific about like my body, and like I always want to feel my best, and I always want to fuel my body with foods that are making me happy. And like that just whole like experience like did not do that for me. And so like when I, especially like living in dorms, sometimes it's even harder. But like coming home, like I just like refocus, like I didn't take it too hard or like personally, because I know that like whatever, like I can get back on track. But like I really started like focusing on myself again, and like it's just been like amazing to see like the growth this summer. And like if I wasn't to experience that, then I probably just like wouldn't know like what I actually want in life. And so I thought it was a really like amazing part of my growth, and something that I just wanted to touch on. Like sometimes we think that like situations that happen are like the end of the world, and like we can never fix it and never go back on it. And like for someone like me, I'm like so hard on myself, and I was like, oh my god, like why would I ever do that to myself? Like, and I just like started talking bad about myself. And like, but then like you have to like realize your worth, and that like one little mistake like is not the end of the world. Like we aren't born to be perfect. And so like I think that just keeping your goals and priorities in mind, like realizing who you are, and like understanding that this one thing doesn't like define you and doesn't shape you, because you can always like exercise and like eat better and like just change your lifestyle. It all starts within. Like if you want to make that change, like you will. And I think that a big part of like the issue I had like with like just saying yes sometimes when I didn't want to was kind of like just being confident in myself, and like understanding that like everything that you like are worried about, it's like you can just easily say no. And like if someone offers you something that you don't want to do, you just be like, no thanks, like whatever. And like if that bothers them, then clearly like that's not the right person you want to be around. Like I think another thing that I'm gonna do when I go back is like find those like, obviously like I have great people there and stuff like that, but like find more people that are like me and like have like similar goals and like similar like things they like to do and stuff like that, so that I'm not put into those situations where like I feel like I'm being peer pressure and stuff like that. Because like you guys know that I'm all about like individuality and like finding your best self, and like, you know, just always like remaining true to who you are. And so like for me to like last semester like kind of like just like go off and sometimes like not do things that I would do like on my own, it almost was like confusing to me, because like I know that's just like not me deep down, you know. And so if anyone like feels like they're going through like something similar, like I promise like you're not alone, and like you can always bounce back from it. Like don't ever feel like you're stuck in a place, or you're stuck in a feeling, or you're stuck in like a position that you're uncomfortable in, because you're not. And you of course want to find activities and things that make you feel happy. You want to find your passions and stuff like that. So like if you ever feel like you're in a situation where you're like like this is not for me, or like you get like a weird vibe, like you can always remove yourself and kind of like do the things that you want to do instead. And I think that's so powerful, to kind of just say no and kind of just like back away and like do something that makes you happy, and like that makes the other person realize that like they can't tell you what to do because you're your own person. And, you know, even if you feel peer pressured, you still have the willpower to be like, no, thank you, like, I'm good, and like stuff like that. And, you know, by saying yes to everything that others want us to do, it almost makes us like weak, and like we don't have our own brain or our own mouth to say no to something, because not everyone that everyone else does is something that we're gonna want to do. Like, obviously everyone has different ideas of fun, everyone has different ideas of their passions and stuff like that. So it's all about finding what makes you, you know, you, and, you know, what makes you keep shining. And if that means you say no to someone, even if you care about them, then by all means you have to do that. So yeah, I think that like the bigger picture here is that nothing is like permanent, and if you feel a certain way, if you look a certain way that you don't like, you have every power to change it, but don't get too down on yourself about it. I think that's another important thing. Like, don't let something make you so down about it that you can't focus on anything else, and you can't live your life, and you don't want to go out and socialize because you're worried about, you know, something like an insecurity you have that really nobody else probably notices except for you. And if something's bothering you, like I said, just take it day by day, and, you know, just make a little change every day, because eventually it'll become a habit and a part of your lifestyle, and it'll just feel so amazing when you finally realize what you do like to do, what you don't like to do, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel good while eating, what you do during the day and stuff like that, like your little routines, your little habit, everything. Like, once you find like what really makes you happy and like something that works for you, you're gonna feel just like so like, I don't even know, just like so much more motivated and so much more willing to kind of be like a person for others that you inspire. And like, you're just going to be such an inspiration to others, and like you're just going to keep wanting to be yourself and keep wanting to learn about yourself and find yourself, and it's going to be this like beautiful feeling of growth and stuff like that. So I just thought this episode was like really necessary, because sometimes in life we just overthink one thing, and we think it's the end of the world, but then when we look at life and like the bigger picture, it's like nobody's perfect, and like sometimes we have to give ourselves credit for like all that we have done and accomplished, because, you know, life is not easy, and we overcome things that we probably don't even realize are like a big deal, but like in reality it is a big deal, because like just like the little things, like other people like probably believe that that's like so amazing, that the little thing you accomplish that you don't think is a big deal. So I think just like focusing on yourself, and, you know, not letting like what others say or do affect you too much, unless it's something that you want to do, is like really powerful, and something that, you know, you should work more on, is like making sure that the things you're doing are what because you really want to do it, not because other people are telling you to do it. So I would say just keep that in the back of your mind if you're going off to college, or if you're just starting something new, or you feel like you're about to be put in a situation that you feel like you might be making a decision that, or there might be a possibility that you do something that you don't want to do. Just remember who you are, remember your goals, your morals, and stuff like that, and I promise you, saying no will make you feel so much better if it's something that you don't want to do. So I think that's all I have for this episode, but I just wanted to share my experience and how I've overcome it and how I've learned from it, rather than how I've dwelled on it. And I think that that's such an important lesson for all of you guys. So I love you guys, and as always, make sure you listen to my episodes and follow me on Instagram at The Fashion Fables, and just stay connected. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.